Stop it, Obinna. It's hurting me. It hurts badly. Stop it. This is African folktales and history. Kayamaka sat on the soft couch, her legs tucked underneath her, watching the raindrops tap lightly against the window. The air inside the house felt warm, but there was a strange quietness that made her feel a little lonely. Her mother, Neka, was on a phone call with someone from work, speaking in a voice that was serious and slightly tense. Her father, Chinedu, was sitting in the chair across from her, typing away on his laptop, his face focused and busy. Kayamaka and her older brother, Obinna, often spent afternoons like this, playing games or reading books while their parents worked. Kayamaka usually liked this time, it felt peaceful, but today, she felt restless. The toys were boring, and the books didn't seem as fun as usual. She glanced over at Obinna, who was flipping through the TV channels. "Obinna," Kayamaka called hesitantly. "What are you doing?" Obinna, who was a year older and always the more adventurous one, leaned forward, his eyes bright with excitement. "Kayamaka, look at this. I found something on TV. Come and see." Kayamaka scrambled to her feet and padded over to where Obinna was sitting. He had found a strange video, something that didn't look like any of their usual cartoons or shows. The people in the video looked older and were doing something that made Kayamaka feel a little uneasy. She squinted at the screen, her heart beginning to race. "What is this, Obinna?" she asked quietly, her voice tinged with confusion. "I don't know," Obinna replied, unbothered. "But it's probably something for adults. Let's watch it." Kayamaka hesitated. The video felt wrong somehow, but Obinna was already glued to the screen. She shifted uncomfortably on the couch. It was just a video, right? Maybe it wasn't so bad. Deciding to stay, her curiosity got the best of her. As the video continued, the people on the screen did things Kayamaka couldn't understand. She didn't know the words for what they were doing, but her stomach twisted. The sounds coming from the TV were strange and made her feel uncomfortable in a way she couldn't explain. She glanced at Obinna, who seemed absorbed, watching intently. Her mind raced with questions. Why were they acting like that? Why did it make her feel so uneasy? She thought about her parents, who always told her that some things were only for grown-ups. Was this one of those things? Obinna turned to her with an excited smile. "I think it's just something adults do. It doesn't look bad. We should try it too." Kayamaka's eyes widened. "What do you mean, try it?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "I think it's something we're supposed to do. Let's try it like they did," Obinna said confidently. Kayamaka felt a knot tighten in her stomach. She didn't know what to say. She wanted to trust Obinna, but something inside her told her it wasn't a good idea. Still, she didn't want to seem scared. Maybe it would be fine, after all, Obinna seemed so sure. "Okay," she said hesitantly, but only for a little while. They went into the bedroom and tried to mimic what they had seen in the video. But the moment Kayamaka attempted it, she felt an uncomfortable pain in her body. It wasn't like the games they usually played or the fun things they did together. This felt wrong. It hurt. "Obinna, stop!" Kayamaka cried, her voice trembling. "It hurts." Obinna blinked, looking at her for a moment before slowly backing away. "I don't know, Kayamaka. Maybe we weren't supposed to do it like they did in the video. It's okay, we can stop." Kayamaka nodded quickly, feeling relieved. She curled up into a ball on the bed, her heart pounding. She didn't know what was happening, but one thing was certain, she didn't want to do that again. The next day, Kayamaka couldn't stop thinking about what had happened. Every time she thought about it, her chest tightened. She wanted to talk to someone, but who? Her mother was always busy with work, And every time Kayamaka tried to get her attention, Neko would say, "Not now, Kayamaka. Mommy is working." Feeling alone, Kayamaka kept the worry to herself, but it grew heavier with each passing moment. She wished she could tell someone what had happened, but she didn't know how. What if no one understood? What if they were angry with her for even watching the video in the first place? That night, Kayamaka tossed and turned in bed, her thoughts weighing her down. She didn't want to keep this secret, but she didn't know how to bring it up. The next morning, their neighbor, Adaora, knocked on the door. Adaora was always kind and loved chatting with Kayamaka and Obinna whenever they needed someone to talk to. She had a gentle, reassuring way about her that made Kayamaka feel safe. Kayamaka was sitting on the couch, staring at her hands, when Adaora came over and sat beside her. "What's on your mind, dear?" Adaora asked softly, noticing how quiet Kayamaka seemed. Kayamaka hesitated but then felt a wave of relief wash over her. She needed to talk. "Auntie Adaora," Kayamaka began, "Obinna and I saw something on TV yesterday. We didn't understand it, and it made me feel funny. We tried it, and it hurt. I don't know if it was bad, but it felt wrong." Adaora listened carefully, her face full of understanding. "Kayamaka, I'm so glad you told me. You did the right thing by coming to me. What you saw wasn't something meant for children. Sometimes people make videos that are confusing and not okay for you to watch or copy. You should never try something that makes you feel uncomfortable." "Why did it hurt, Auntie? Why didn't I understand it?" Kayamaka asked, her voice filled with confusion. Adaora smiled gently, brushing a lock of hair from Kayamaka's face. "Sweetheart, it's perfectly normal to be curious, but your body is still growing. There are certain things adults do that you're not ready for. You don't need to understand everything right now. What's important is that you never try anything that makes you feel bad. Your body is your own, and it's important to keep it safe." Kayamaka felt a sense of peace wash over her. Though she still didn't fully understand everything Adaora had said, for the first time since the incident, she didn't feel so alone. Later that afternoon, Adaora spoke to Kayamaka's mother, explaining what had happened. Neko listened carefully, then decided to sit down with Kayamaka and Obinna for a conversation. "Kayamaka, I'm glad you spoke up, sweetheart," Neko began gently. "It's so important to talk about things that make us feel confused or uncomfortable. What you saw was something meant for adults, and I'm sorry you had to see it. But I'm so proud of you for coming to me." Kayamaka nodded, relieved that her mother wasn't angry. "I didn't like it, Mom. It hurt," she said softly. Neko hugged her tightly. "I'm so sorry, darling. You're right. There are things that are just for grown-ups, and you're not ready for them. You should never do anything that feels wrong to you. And it's always okay to ask questions. You can come to me anytime." Obinna, who had been quiet throughout the conversation, spoke up. "I'm really sorry, Kayamaka. I didn't think it would hurt you. I thought we were just playing." Kayamaka smiled softly. "It's okay, Obinna. I think we both learned something." Over time, Neko decided to take breaks from work to focus more on her children. She started having open conversations about boundaries, safety, and understanding their emotions, ensuring they felt supported and loved.